Hello, good evening, or should I say late afternoon here in the Philippines. British expat in the Philippines, and my name is John. This morning I spent a little bit of time when I wasn't working in the garden to watching two of my previous channels that I've been following. And I say two because they've gone their separate ways in the channel. Originally it was called the Armstrong family blog. And it consists of a lady called Donna and the husband who got married online, an American guy called Richard. Initially I watched Donna, and what appeared at the start to be an admission that she was a little bit of she suggested that she was a toxic wife or a toxic woman, whatever that means. But one thing that, as the video transpired, it just became more and more of the same. And I won't reflect on it any more than that. But then later on in the afternoon, I was made aware of one that's just been published, and that's Richard, the other side of the coin. And of course, he's doing his version as well. He's now back in America, where he feels that as a result of some legal advice he's obtained here in the Philippines, that he's free to talk about the things that he was maybe not so free to talk about previously here in the Philippines itself. Sorry, that was the cat scratching the leg of the table. But it does highlight the fact that we are living in a society of the Philippines where the laws are very much based upon morality, behavior, what is expected of us. It's almost a bit of a draconian way of looking at life, but it comes probably from the teachings of the Catholic faith. Who is to say it's right or wrong? But that's the formation of their law system here. And we've always heard people suggest that talking about one's own personal situation is really just airing your dirty washing in public. Now, I agree with that in a certain sense, because sometimes you're going to, if you do that, you're going to either upset or you're going to stand on somebody's feet in the process. You're always going to only have one side of a story. But I do see it also as a form of therapy for foreigners who have a bit of a gripe to air their annoyance at things. So one has to try and maybe distance your point of view away from actually an event. And that's what I've always tried to do. If I've experienced difficulties or discovered different behavior traits in Filipinos, not only have I heard it from other people, but sometimes I've even experienced them myself. And those that are here in the Philippines, or those that have actually got a live-in wife, partner, girlfriend, will understand where I'm coming from, because no day is actually always perfect. No day is exempt necessarily of some of the things that one raises. Example, tempo. What is tempo? You say, well, rather than me explain it, you watch my old videos. But there are degrees of that. There are variations of what you might call tempo. but really are basically bad behavior by your wife or your girlfriend, or even yourself. And rather than say, this person did it or that person said this, one tries to frame it in a way that you can relate to it, but not necessarily point it at me or at my partner. And that's important because no one wants to constantly be in a rocky boat for fear of drowning. And here in the Philippines, it is an extremely difficult road to navigate, living with a foreign lady within her environment, where you step into her environment and you try and adapt your life in some form, somewhere in amongst all of that. And that's probably the key to it. You have to find a little niche where you fit in to the lifestyle that she already has. Whether she's living with her mother and father or not, it makes no difference. She is Filipina through and through. She will always have her own learning processes in operation every day. You might not like the fact that she's constantly on the phone. You might not like the thought that she gossips a lot. Maybe you gossip a lot too. Maybe she doesn't like that. But all of these messages, all these thoughts for the day, are there to trigger your mind into realizing that it's not all plain sailing when you hitch up with a lady from somewhere else in your world. When you grow up with women that are from your own environment, women that have spent their whole life maybe at the same school as you, or in ones that you each know of, in a town where you all know and used to hang out together, or a city, or a village. When somebody who comes from the Philippines to come to your country and then steps into your environment, she is going to face the same as you. She's going to feel a little bit like a fish out of water, just like maybe you do. And it's important that you recognize that you are a fish out of water here. And it's up to you to sort of adapt and get a mindset to knowing how best to navigate your day, organize your week, calculate your month. Because if you don't, and you don't have the wherewithal to do it, and you bury your frustration, your anger, your disappointment in a bottle of booze, that's not going to serve anybody any purpose. And in the end, it's not going to do any kind of relationship any good either. Any relationship that you do have with any person, be it a man or a woman, is built upon trust, understanding, and caring about each other. I mean, I have friends in Australia and New Zealand that I truly care about, and I constantly ring them, see how they are, ask them how their wives are, ask the wife how the husband is. And it's all part of the friendship that one's built over the years. I have a friend that I've known since I was 16 that I still talk to. I have friends that I've almost gone to school with that I still talk to. And it's important that we maintain those friendships. And if we're lucky enough to create new ones here, even with foreigners, it's important that we nurture them and that we have that area that we can step away from the problems that we might face at home here and give us that opportunity to restart one's mindset and realize that, okay, I'm going home now. I hope things have settled. Because if you don't have that mindset, you're going to create a minefield of problems for yourself going forward. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is, it's difficult living with a Filipino, and I'm sure it's difficult for them to live with you. But it's a matter of finding common ground, where even if it's, some of you like to say, well, it's love. Whether it's love or whether it's companionship doesn't really matter. It's what it means to you that's important. If you aren't happy with yourself and respect your own opinions over others, first and foremost, how can you offer that respect to others who seek it from you? So that's my thought for this afternoon, early evening. And I hope that those that are waking up somewhere else or getting ready to have the evening meal and go and have a nod in front of the goggle box, I hope you have a pleasant evening. Bye now.